Okay, I wanted to do this one real quick before I hit the road. I'm still in my hotel room here, but so people have asked me multiple times to talk about the cold shower idea that you hear so many gurus talking about like diving into cold tanks of water and taking a cold shower. And what I think about that. And then there's also these like places you can actually go and do a cryo. They call it something cryo or cryo something, where they actually stick you inside of a tube and blast you with cold air. And it's a fabulous way actually to get rid of inflammation. It really takes the inflammation out of your system. And what happens is when you hit that cold water, that cold air, it actually pushes the fluid in towards your organs where it can be processed and then gotten rid of through your system. What do I think about it? I think it's a fabulous way to get rid of inflammation if you can handle it. I've done it a few different ways. I've done the tank, the cryo thing, the cryo chamber where you stand in there and they blast you with cold air. And I thought it was suffocating for a few minutes. So remember, I have autoimmune issues. I have thyroid issues. They tell you if you have thyroid problems, don't do it. I did it anyway. And I have asthma, so when that cold air hit me, it immediately seized up my lungs and I couldn't breathe. And the lady just sat there like staring straight into my face and panting with me, trying to get me to breathe instead of letting me out of the tank, which was really funny. Probably not so funny, but it was funny. It's funny now. Did it help? Yeah, it helped immensely. Made a huge difference in the inflammation. The idea of getting into a cold shower, like taking an ice cold shower instead of taking a hot one. Here's the deal. If you're in a level of fight and flight, if you're already struggling with autoimmunity, with different things like that, just turning on and cranking ice cold water onto your body probably isn't one of the best ideas, because it's just going to make you panic. It's going to give you that instant second of panic where, and it's either going to do one of two things. It's either going to totally free you from your fight and flight, or it's going to make it worse. And for most people, unfortunately, because we identify with the fight and flight, we identify with the panic, it makes it worse, and it reminds you about who you think you are, right? So it's probably not a good idea to do for most people. If you can do it slowly and tolerate it and get in there, and kind of, I don't know, it's one of those things. Tony Robbins said, just don't question it, just jump in. Like, you walk into it just like you're taking the next step. Here's what I think is probably a better idea for most people is start with your normal warm shower. Don't take showers as hot as you normally do. Definitely crank the temperature down. Take a cooler shower. And then as you're getting out, start making it a little bit colder. Over time, increasing how cold it is. So instead of just making it this huge blast of cold water that shocks your system, do it a little bit slower. And this is for people who are already in fight and flight. If you're already struggling and fighting and having issues, I wouldn't do it. It's not going to be comfortable. And I only know this because I tried it, and it took me, it probably took me 3 days to shake it back off, because the initial blast to the system, because I just turned on cranking cold water and jumped in, and I was shocked, first of all, how cold it was, and then I was shocked how painful it was, which I don't know why it was painful, but for me it was painful. And I don't know if that was an internal pain or an external pain. It was very strange and very painful. And, so I've heard somebody say, I think it was actually Jim Quick, I heard say that it actually helps because it drives everything in, right? It helps digestion. So it's driving all the blood towards your gut and all the fluid towards your gut. So it actually helps you. And that's probably true. In fact, I'm sure it is true. But if you're in fight and flight already, it's just not going to help. It's just going to make things crazier and worse. So do it a little bit of a time, because a colder shower sometimes is a good thing. Taking a cranking hot shower while in the moment feels relaxing probably isn't helping you either. So I would turn the temperature down. And I would slowly keep turning it down, because that cold water will drive the fluid from your tissue into the organs, and then it'll start to release. So that's my thing about the showers. If you want to take a cold shower, knock yourself out. I think, good job. If you want to try and do it from a state that you think it's going to help your system and you need to do it slower, do it slower. There's no rights and wrongs to any of this. You guys know that, right? There is no rights and wrongs to any of this stuff. Some of it works for some of us, some of it doesn't. You have to find what's right for you, and that's the key to all of this. It is the key to everything. Is test it, try it, find what works for you, and then stick with that thing, because if you don't stick with it, you're going to lose the benefit. And it's funny when I talk to people a lot about getting their prayers answered, and they'll have their little miracle thing, but then their problem comes back. Well, what did you go back to doing that started the problem to start with, right? What did you go back to doing? It released you for a while, and then all of a sudden there's something you went back to. And if you can start figuring those things out, right? So if the cold shower helps, stick with the cold shower. If the cold shower doesn't help, don't do it. Right? Whatever you're eating, if you hit the note on the food supply thing on the diet, and you hit it just right, and all of a sudden your weight shifts and you feel better, don't ever quit doing that, because your body's liking it, it's working for you. And we like to think we can start adding stuff back in. In this day and age, it's dangerous. Once you find a combination that works for you, stick with it, and stick with it long enough that your body can totally heal. That can take a few years, guys. It's not an overnight fix. It's not a 4-week thing. It's not a 6-week thing. Probably not even a 6-month thing. They can start, your stuff can start healing really fast. Your tissue can heal really fast. But you want to stick to doing with whatever it is you're doing that's working for a period of time. And make sure that your body is totally whole and healthy before you go and do something and change it and mess up the results that you've got, right? So anyway, that's on cold showers. Blessings and peace. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to Mind Rewire. My name's Christy Mattoon. I don't even think I said that at the beginning. Blessings.